Survivor is a game that is built upon three pillars. Those pillars represent the physical, strategic, and social aspects of the game. For my series, The Pillars of the Game, I will be looking at a season of Survivor and see which players best represent each pillar, and who best touches on all three. I won't overlap players, so while the player who is best overall might also be the best physical player, I will only choose them to represent one of those pillars. Being the first season and players didn't really know what they were getting into, you might think it would be tough to find players that represent each category, but that doesn't actually turn out to be true, and the only hard one to choose was the best overall. Starting with strategic, the strategic portion represents the player that was making the right decisions to get them to the end, using what advantages they can get to give the best opportunities to get to the end, whether that's forming the right alliances or properly using an immunity idol. This was likely the most obvious one for this season. Some players had strategic thoughts or started to catch on as the season went, but Richard was really the only choice here. Right from the beginning, he knew to approach it as a game that could be beaten, and not just a social experiment. We'll cover some of his strategic decisions in another video, but such as it is, I don't think it takes too much convincing to say he was the most strategic player in Season 1, and that is the biggest reason why he won. So for the physical portion, it can be defined by the challenge beast of the season, who performed best in the challenges. So that doesn't just mean like their physical strength, but also their ability to solve puzzles and mental side of doing the challenges. I will tend to give more weight to the individual challenges, but the tribal challenges will also factor in. Much like Richard for the strategic portion, the runner-up, Kelly, was the clear choice for the physical portion. She set the standard for what it means to be a challenge beast. To this day, she still holds the record for most individual immunity wins by a woman in a single season at 4. All 4 came in a row to take her to the final tribal council. She was also okay in the tribal challenges, winning 3 out of 6 immunity challenges there. Though she did famously lose in rowing against Jervis, who had no previous water experience and could even swim. But even with that, she's still clearly the best physical player of this season. And then for the social pillar, the social portion of the game represents the player that best connected with others and was most favored by the jury. This player had the trust of other castaways and could convince others to side with them. This one was a lot harder to decide from this season, but one player was a clear favorite and would have likely won if they had made it to the end. I considered both Greg and Colleen for this spot, as they were both well liked by the other players and the viewers, but there was one other player who I thought narrowly edged them out. Rudy managed to overcome players initially being rubbed the wrong way by him through endearing himself as an equal competitor despite his advanced age. He also recognized that he would have to adapt to the others rather than them adapt to him. His strong bond he created with Richard was also integral to both of them making it far. So for the overall, the best overall player is the one who best exemplifies a mix of the 3 categories. It could mean they dominated in all 3 categories, or that they were just an okay player, but they utilized each of the 3 pillars to some degree. This one was difficult to choose, and Richard could have easily been the choice here, but he was too clearly the choice for strategic, so I couldn't go with him. I considered Greg, as he was seen as smart and well liked, but he was voted out too early for us to really see how he would have panned out in the individual challenges. Jervis was a close runner-up, as he did better than expected in the challenges, especially with his win over Kelly in the rowing when he had very little experience on the water. He was decently liked, though there were some people that disagreed with his lifestyle. But he was just a little bit too late to catch on to the strategic part of the game. So that left me with one choice, and that's Dr. Shawn. He didn't really exceed in any of the categories, but he also didn't falter too much in any of them. He had a strategy with his alphabet strategy, which was smarter than it sounded once he realized that all the Pagong tribe members had their names earlier in the alphabet than the Tagi tribe. This also allowed his social game to be a little bit stronger, as it was tough to be mad at him for voting for someone when he's just basing it alphabetically. He was also pretty good in the challenges, going 3 out of 6 in tribal immunity challenges and winning the first ever loved ones visit. In the individual immunity challenges, he never won, but he was always right there, finishing in the top 3. And he also strategically voted correctly all along, even though he was using his alphabet strategy. That covers our 3 pillars of the game for the first season, Survivor Borneo. Just to recap, that was Richard for strategy, Kelly for physical, Rudy for social, and Shawn as our overall representative for season 1. Thank you for watching. This is an interesting lens to look at the season, and I can't wait to do more of the seasons down the line. So please subscribe if you want to catch those videos when they come out.